Hi, welcome to our job site. My name is Mike Marshall, the president of Holland Construction Services. Whether this is your first time working with us or if we've worked on several projects together, welcome. And thank you for the work that you will be performing on the project. Before we get started, we strongly believe that you and your loved ones deserve the peace of mind that you are working on a site and with a company that genuinely cares for your safety and well-being. To ensure that you and your coworkers remain safe, we want to share some important information with you. Thank you for your attention as you watch and listen to these guidelines. I'll see you in a few minutes. We appreciate your time today.
Hi, I'm Mike Deal. This video will orient you to our safety program at Holland Construction. You'll learn about the policies and expectations for people who work on our projects. Construction sites are constantly changing. That's why being alert and eliminating safety hazards is critical. It is Holland's policy that everyone has the right to stop work if they recognize a situation or activity that may cause injury to another. Holland believes in a team approach. When we all work together, we can eliminate hazards and create a safe work environment. Our goal is to ensure that everyone goes home unharmed and as healthy as when they arrived. If you have any questions about the Holland safety program or site-specific issues, speak with the Holland representative on the site. Thank you, and we look forward to working with you.
To work on a Holland job site, our safety policies must be followed at all times. Contractors are subject to Holland's policies, OSHA requirements, and any additional owner policies and procedures. All new workers to the site must receive a Holland orientation prior to beginning work. This includes training for the equipment and tools they'll be working with. Specific training is required for certain tasks. Examples include fall protection, confined space entry, trenching and excavation, scaffold erection, aerial lifts, forklifts, cranes, and equipment.
Personal protective equipment, PPE, is mandatory on all Holland sites. Hard hats, ANSI-approved safety glasses, gloves. Make sure you have the right glove for the right task. ANSI-approved work boots, and always wear high-visibility outerwear. Holland Construction requires hearing protection in designated areas and whenever there is loud noise that could reach over 85 decibels, such as jackhammering, demolition, and the use of saws. Before you begin any type of work where respirators are required, you will complete proper training, fit testing procedures, and, in certain cases, be medically evaluated by a doctor. It's required by OSHA. Workers are responsible for ensuring that their PPE is in good, usable condition. Bring defective equipment to your supervisor and take the item out of service immediately. Each contractor must determine any additional PPE that may be required by the task and follow manufacturer recommendations for tools and equipment.
At Holland Construction, we perform pre-installation meetings. In these meetings, we review the work to be performed, safety procedures, and quality. You'll identify the job task steps, identify hazards associated with the work, and determine how the hazards will be controlled or eliminated. When the work task changes or new hazards are introduced throughout the day, it must be communicated to the entire crew. Toolbox talks or weekly safety training must be completed and turned in to the on-site representative weekly.
There are 4 areas of construction where there is a proven increased potential for unsafe work practices and/or injury. They are falls, struck by, caught between, and electrical hazards. Falls from any height can cause serious injury or death. Holland Construction policy is that you must be protected for any activity over 6 feet high. Guardrails, fall arrest, fall restraint, and warning lines are all components of a comprehensive fall protection program. 100% fall protection must be in place for framing, steel erection, roof work, and any other activity where employees could be exposed to a fall over 6 feet. Numerous hazards can create struck-by injuries. Struck-by injuries occur when a worker comes into forcible contact with a flying, falling, swinging, or rolling object. Always ensure that you stay out of the swing radius of vehicles. Be aware of your surroundings. Ensure backup alarms are on all vehicles and spotters are used as necessary. Caught between hazards are caused when a worker gets caught or is compressed between equipment or objects. This includes excavation and confined space accidents, or getting pinned between a wall and a piece of heavy equipment. Be aware at all times of the equipment around you and stay a safe distance from it. Only trained and authorized employees are permitted to work on electrical equipment. Before working on running equipment, live systems, or live electricity, make sure everything is at zero energy before starting. Only trained and authorized employees are permitted to perform lockout or tagout. Power lines must be identified, and all work and equipment kept proper distances from the lines.
Fire protection is a critical safety topic. All fire and emergency equipment must be plainly marked and have current inspection tags. Fire protection access and egress must be maintained. Smoking is only allowed in designated areas and is strictly prohibited inside buildings or near wood structures. If working in an existing building, the customer's fire protection must not be used unless it is an emergency. Hot work includes any activity involving welding, burning, grinding, or similar flame or spark-producing operations. At Holland Construction, designated areas require a hot work permit. Make sure the proper permit is obtained before you begin this type of work. Wood structures will always be hot work permit required. Contractors must provide their own extinguishers for their own flammable storage areas and hot work operations. Ensure a safe work environment at all times. Always ensure that you are trained on the equipment you are using. Inspect all tools and equipment before use. Tag or take out of service any tools or equipment that is damaged, defective, worn, or missing required guards. Do not use any tool for any purpose other than what it was intended for by the manufacturer. Homemade or altered tools are prohibited. Lifting, hoisting, and operating mobile equipment can be very dangerous. Training must be performed for anyone operating mobile equipment. Lifting areas, where workers could inadvertently get underneath a load, must be roped off or isolated in a way that only the trained workers performing the task are allowed in the area. Mobile equipment limits operators' visibility and hearing. Workers should always be extra cautious when working around mobile equipment, and always be aware of the swing radius of lifting equipment. Workers must always stay away from suspended loads. When approaching mobile equipment, always make eye contact with the operator and do not pass until the operator signals that it is okay. All equipment must be inspected before use. In addition, cranes require a certification for the crane that is being operated and an annual inspection. Proper OSHA procedures must be followed for all crane activities. Never enter excavations or trenches until they conform to appropriate regulations. Holland requires trench protection at 4 feet of depth. A trained employee must identify soil type and the proper protection. For any excavation over 10 feet, there must be a plan reviewed by Holland's Safety Department. Depending on depth and hazards present, excavations may become confined spaces. Never enter a confined space unless you've been trained and all proper procedures are in place. If there is any atmospheric, physical, or chemical hazard in the confined space, a permit may be required. Confined spaces may be hazardous due to their design, construction, location, atmosphere, material in it, or any other hazard present. Contractors must have a confined space plan in place before entry. Each worker must be trained on their own HAZCOM program and trained on any chemicals before use. Safety data sheets, or SDSs, must be submitted for any hazardous materials and made available to all workers on site. To obtain an SDS, or if you have any questions, see your Holland representative. We at Holland believe that good housekeeping and material storage is imperative to a safe and organized site. Poor housekeeping and material storage can create slip, trip, and fire hazards. Everyone needs to do their part in ensuring a clean, organized site. Look around. Ensure walkways and all exits are kept clear of debris. Remove nails and any other sharp objects protruding from lumber immediately. Uncapped rebar is an impalement hazard. Be sure to properly cap all rebar and any other item that may be an impalement hazard. Hazardous materials require special attention. Properly contain, label, and store all hazardous materials. Remove all slippery conditions on walkways and working surfaces. Coordinate any storage areas or deliveries with the Holland site representative. Holland Construction Services has a disciplinary guide. In most cases, we follow a 3-step process. The 3-step process consists of verbal warnings, written warnings, and suspension. It is up to the Holland representative to determine the appropriate disciplinary action. In any instant where a worker willfully or repeatedly violates Holland's safety policy, they may be removed immediately. Holland enforces a zero-tolerance policy for any violation that could be considered immediately dangerous to life and health. Examples include fall protection, electrical excavations, confined spaces, or any other serious hazard. Workers can also be terminated immediately for insubordination, illegal substances, smoking, threatening or abusive language, violence, and sexual misconduct. Immediately report any unsafe acts, incidents, or near misses to the Holland representative. All personal or property damage incidents must be reported to the Holland representative immediately. Contractors are also responsible for providing a report to the Holland representative. You are also required to review the site emergency procedures and site-specific requirements on each Holland site as part of this orientation.
We appreciate your time today. All of the rules you just heard are critical to your safety and the safety of everyone around you. Please respect these safety guidelines and each other. If there is anything you missed or didn't understand, please ask your supervisor. Your work is important, but not at the risk of your physical health. Thank you again for your partnership in making this a safe job site for you, your coworkers, and for the peace of mind of your loved ones.